3 from our social studies. The social studies unit we're working on are the stories and history of our land. Let's look at our tribal land acknowledgement. We acknowledge the land we're on today is the ancestral home of the Coast Salish people and has been since time immemorial. We respect their sovereignty, their right of self determination, and we honor their sacred spiritual connection with the land and water. This means that we know that the land we're on belongs to the people that were originally here. Those people we call indigenous people or natives. You may also hear them spoken of as Native Americans because we live in North America. We're also going to take a look really quick at our tribal map. I'm hoping that this will pull up for us as I'm looking at it. Here we go. So the tribal map represents Washington, and these are all the people or the tribes that live in Washington. If you notice on the West Coast where we live, right, you'll see that there's quite a few tribes. You might even recognize some of them. You might see the Tuwalip tribe up in the north part, or you might see the Muckleshoot tribe. Along the Snohomish King County line, if you can see that on the map, you're going to see that the Snoqualmie or the Suquamish. If I look over at the Olympic Peninsula, I'm going to see the Makah. And if you remember from the other day, the Makah was part of where Mr. Fernandez was from, our storyteller. Okay, as I come back, I want you to think about if you remember the names of some of the other indigenous or native people. Yes, we listened to Mr. Fernandez and we watched a video about him. Remember that indigenous or native means plants or animals that have lived in a place since the beginning of time. We call the people, the animals, and plants that have been here since the beginning indigenous or native people. We've mentioned a couple of people that are native tribal people. Roger Fernandez was a member of the Loa Elwha Koalam tribe. We also watched a video the other day that talked about people from the coastal Puget Sound and Plateau tribes. Those would all be fairly local people. They would all be in what we call now the state of Washington. Those tribes have been on this land since long before many of our ancestors, unless you are a tribal descendant and many great 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 grandchildren of these first people still live here. Maybe it's you, maybe a classmate. Think to yourself, do you know, are you from a native tribe? Are you a descendant from one of those tribes? You might want to check with your parents and find out. I know I'm not because I did not grow up here. So, are you a descendant? A descendant is someone that has ancestors from a certain group. Do you have Native American ancestors? If you do, you're a descendant of a native tribe. If you are not a descendant, do you know someone? Do you have a friend that is a descendant? That would be pretty good. If you are a descendant, that would be pretty cool. We're going to listen to another story today. The story we're going to listen to is by Roger Fernandez, and you'll see it on your assignment page. This story is called Huckleberry Medicine, and it's from Western Washington. Do you know what a huckleberry is? Have you ever gone huckleberry picking? As you listen to the story, think about what you could draw to illustrate the story. This is a huckleberry. I like the blueberries and the green leaves. Listen carefully to the story once you're done. You are going to draw your picture. Think about what happened in the story, draw your picture, and then upload it to Canvas. Have fun doing this. We'll see you soon.